Hi, I'm Sara Fawkes. I'm a licensed psychotherapist in California. Today I'm going to talk to you about the skill of validation. This is one of the most common skills that I and a lot of therapists teach to couples and parents and anyone who wants to improve their relationships. It can help to resolve arguments. It makes people more likely to come and want to talk to you in the future. I think it's fantastic, and the great thing is it's fairly simple to learn. So let me define what I mean by validation. I just mean that you're showing the other person that you recognize what they're feeling and can understand it, or that what they're feeling makes sense. Now, this is simpler than it sounds. Let me give you some examples. So some phrases that tend to be validating would be, yeah, that is really confusing. Or I'd be frustrated too. Or no wonder you're angry. It makes sense that you're disappointed, right? Simple phrases that show that you hear what they're saying, you hear the emotion, and you understand it. Now, the opposite, and I'm sure you've experienced this and done this a million times, is when we dismiss or minimize someone's feelings. You probably wouldn't downright tell someone that their feelings are weird or invalid, but chances are inadvertently you convey that message by saying things that are invalidating. Unfortunately, it just tends to be our default response as humans. Frequently, invalidation, I see it most as jumping immediately to giving advice or jumping immediately into trying to reassure the person. So, advice giving might be, you come home from a really difficult day at work, there's been some major problems and you're upset about it, and your partner says, oh, well, why don't you just do A, B, and C, right? Why don't you just do this? As though it's very easy. You couldn't have thought about it yourself. The reassurance part, and we see this a lot too, reassurance often comes in phrases like, well, don't worry, it'll be fine. Or, well, it could be worse. Oh, don't worry, it's going to work out. You'll tough it out. It's not a big deal, right? The one that I see the most is, well, at least it's not blank. It could be anything. Well, at least you haven't lost your job. Maybe you have to have surgery or have some kind of lump removed. People might say, well, at least it's not cancer. Or maybe a pet dies and their friends say, well, at least they had a really nice long life. Why do people do this? Why do we do this? Well, we're well-intentioned. We say things that are invalidating because we don't want them to be upset. We feel uncomfortable when they're distressed, so we want to make them feel better. We tell them they shouldn't be upset and they don't need to be upset. It comes from kindness, of course, but it has the opposite effect than we intend. I know some parents are concerned that if they validate their child's emotions, they're going to amplify them, that their child's going to be more upset or upset for longer. But actually, the opposite is what happens. When we are validated, adults or children, we're better able to soothe ourselves. And later on, we're more open to problem solving the issue, or at the very least, we're able to move past it more efficiently. I encourage you to give it a try. Like any other skill, it takes practice. Don't expect to be perfect at it. No one is, but even doing this some of the time can make a real difference in your relationships. I'd love to hear some examples of maybe times you've been invalidating or responses you've heard. Please put them down below. I love to hear that kind of stuff, or ways that this has benefited you, your kids, your relationships. Leave them in the comments down below. And of course, if you think this video would be helpful for someone else, please feel free to share it. Bye for now.